Welcome back to the Huddle 3 podcast. This is a Falcons only podcast. So what we're going to do is discuss the Falcons game week over week, every Monday or Tuesday night, and we'll post it the next day. So, Brian, how do you feel like the Falcons played last week?
Not good at
Yeah,
all.
so
They
bad.
were atrocious. I didn't know what I was watching. I got really frustrated really early in the game. I just feel like our offense is not clicking. Our defense played pretty well, and we'll touch on them a little bit later. But defense played well enough, but it's just our offense is just terrible. And I don't know if I want to put the blame on Ritter or someone else, but something has to give for this team. There's too many great players on this team for us to look that bad.
Yeah.
What do
But
you guys
so
think?
for me, it's like coaching. I think it's coaching. I think it's not. Trey said it over the weekend. We're not in the right scheme on both sides. We're not playing to people's strong suits. I mean, this is the first game we've really used Kyle Pitts, and it was good to see him catch some balls. But that one long ball that he had Pitts. I mean, if he had Pitts in stride, been a touchdown. You know what I
How many
mean?
yards did he have, by the way?
I mean, he don't have many because their leading receiver has 114 for the whole season.
Hits.
Well, yeah, how
I think
many?
he has
How,
100. He's the third
Yeah,
receiver on the
yeah,
team, which
he's 100.
doesn't seem accurate because it seems like he's never getting involved.
What about you, Trey? Is it coach? Is it Ritter? Is it
It's 1,000% on Arthur Smith. I
okay?
said it since last season. I don't want him here. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's running an offense that would have been effective maybe in the early 2000s. And yes, Bijan is good, but you can't win in today's NFL only running the football, and that's all that he knows how to do. He knows how to run the football and run play action. Here's the thing. We can run the ball all we want with TA and Bijan, but no one's falling for our play action because we're not getting anything out of it. We're not taking shots down the field. We're not looking for pits down the field. We're running a play action, then we're running a little dink and dunk for 3 or 4 yards. Dustin, I was talking in our group the other day during the game. We were uh, fourth quarter trying to come back, and all we were doing is dinking and dunking,
Mm-hmm.
and it was working. Yeah, it was working because Detroit was off 10 yards like we
Yeah,
normally play defense. They're like,
exactly.
we'll give you 5 4 yards every time. You're going to take 5 minutes off the clock. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't know at this point if it's just he doesn't trust Ritter or if Ritter can't do it, but it looks like Ritter looks like a worse version of Marcus Mariota, and Mariota was atrocious. The
Yeah.
only time he was good is when he was running it. Other than that, it's all on Arthur Smith, a
But
thousand
he
percent.
doesn't have time to throw. That's the one thing we
He
all can
doesn't.
agree on. He doesn't have time to throw.
no,
Like our line looks so bad. Like they can't keep blocks. They can't keep them. They can block them. They can get right there. But as soon as they do a move, Aiden Hutchinson with his spin move, that one sack he got, he made the guy look silly. I mean, McCurry's not playing well at all. Who's your left tackle? Does anybody know his name off the top of your head? Our left tackle,
Should
Jake
be Jack
Matthews.
Jack
Trey
Matthews.
Matthews.
Yeah,
Um,
longest tenured guy there, and he's probably older
the
than dirt.
worst, and he's the worst. He played so bad last week. Um, but it's the scheme. I think we're not playing enough. Or I think if we did a little bit more dunking and dunk offs like screens and stuff to get them running, that gives them another option. But we're gonna run. We're gonna run and throw a 5 yard out or a dig.
And the 5 yard out's going to be to Mac Hollins. It's not even going to be to one of our actual playmakers. Whenever
And
Mac Hollins is leading your team in receiving yards, that that's all you really need to know.
and nothing wrong with him. He's a good player, but he's not
Yes,
better than London. He's
he's
not
not
better than
he's not a
Pitts.
wide receiver one.
No,
He's not. He's not Kyle Pitts, and he's not Drake London.
Brian, what about
No,
you, man?
no, I agree. I agree with everything you guys are saying. It's just the the problem is what can we do to make a changeover for better and get better? I mean, the only thing that I can think of right now is Arthur Smith, not Arthur Smith, Arthur Blank telling Arthur Smith to to get away from play calling duties.
Mm-hmm.
I, our OC,
And
I
shave
don't
that
know,
mustache.
yes, and our OC, what's his name? Dave Ragno. I don't even
Rigoni. It's Rigoni.
Ragoni.
Dave Rigoni. He used to be a coach for the Bears at some
Okay,
point, I think.
I don't know
Actually,
him,
So we
and I
got him
usually
from a
know
sucky
most.
who's the
team.
who's the defensive coordinator?
Ryan Nielsen.
Okay. Yeah,
He's from
he was with the
Saints.
Saints. I like him. I think he's doing good things with the
Yeah.
defense.
I
Our defense
don't.
is
I
our
don't
defense.
though.
Oh.
I don't though. We don't have a scheme. We don't have a scheme. Who?
We don't have a scheme. I think he's putting the right ideals in, and we're getting more effective with our defense in certain schemes. We
Mhm.
need to stick to those schemes, not try to switch it
We
depending
shouldn't
on the
have
team we
Calais
play.
Campbell on a DN.
No,
He's too old for that.
he's too old.
But he
He's
played
too
a
old to be a
lot.
DN.
He was standing up on a play. I'm like, bro, get your hand in the dirt. You're too old to stand up.
He needs to be in the middle with
Yeah,
Jared.
he needs to be. Yeah, those Jared had a decent game in the very end of the game. He had a
There
good
was
game.
there was one series where he was involved. He had 3 quarterback hurries
Mhm.
in one drive, which
Yeah.
he's got to be doing that every single time, not just here and there. That makes
Mhm.
me wonder, like, do the players even agree with what the hell this guy's doing? Because I mean, up until then, you didn't see anything special out of the defense other than Jesse Bates, who's already got 3 interceptions, so he's on pace to be pretty good with that.
Yeah. I would say too. Alonzo Carter and Bud Dupree need to have their hands on the ground every snap when they're on the field.
Mhm.
They need to play that 6 technique outside linebacker position every snap. I know Bud Dupree is a little bit older, but he's good
He was
enough
the
to
only
come on the
one
outside.
getting pressure last game. He
Mhm.
was the
Right.
only one getting, other than Jarrett on that one drive. He was the only guy getting pressure.
And the
And I,
guy.
and I,
Go ahead, Ron.
I was just gonna say our linebackers are not getting pressure either, like at all.
So I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through the top 5 we have in tackles. Okay. So our 5th guy with 15 tackles is Trey Flowers. 4th guy is Richie Grant with 17. Trey Anderson 18, Bates 24, and Ellis 25.
Ellis
So
has been a stud this season.
yes,
Yeah.
but
He's
3 of the
been good.
5 is secondary.
Yeah, because we're letting passes go all
Yeah.
deep on us. We can't cover worth a damn.
Up until this last game, teams didn't throw deep on us
Mhm.
because we play so far back. We try to keep everything in front of us, and then Nielsen's like, "Well, let's run a different scheme. Let's put our corners all the way up." Yeah, that's a great idea. But only your biggest issue is you have Richie Grant trying to play coverage. I like Richie Grant. I think he's a good run defender. He's not a good coverage guy. There's been multiple times where he's blown coverages deep, and Bates a little bit too. Bates has been gambling. Oh, I know he's got 3 picks, but there's a few plays where he's been gambling, and
Mhm.
they've just missed a wide open throw down field, and I'm like, that's not good, because if they would have got that, they would have been gone. Who's Detroit's tight end? I forgot his name.
Laporta.
Laporta, yeah. Laporta had a walk-in touchdown because
Mhm.
if you look through the replay, Bates and Grant just like ran into each other.
No awareness.
You can't have that. I don't see any other team doing that. I don't see that ever on any other defense. It happens with Atlanta. I'm like, oh, that's such an Atlanta thing to do.
Mhm.
And we've been biting on play action pass too. Our corners and linebackers bite on those play actions. Jared Goff is really good at it. Jordan Love was really good at it too. It's just we've got to just watch our eyes, and watch the quarterback.
It's
We're not getting. Go ahead.
Sorry. We're getting beaten on play action so much with our secondaries because our corners, they want to come up and stop the run. Terrell is one of the toughest corners in the league. If he had multiple times where he was either the first one to initiate contact on inside runs or he was second or third, which is a great thing to have. It's good to have your corners be able to want to tackle and actually uh, help contribute to that. But it's a double-edged sword because they're going to get in situations where they blow coverages or they fall for play action. I don't know how a corner can fall for play action, to be honest. Because I mean,
It's their
if
eyes.
you're in man-to-man defense, it does not matter if they're right. You keep your eyes on the guy right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think I'm gonna take it a different from a different perspective. Yes, we're 2-1 now. We have the Jaguars next. Okay, they have 2 good receivers, and I forgot who their tight end is. They have 2
Evan
good
Ingram.
It's Evan Ingram, isn't it?
So like they have 3 good weapons, and they have an explosive running back in ETN, and Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback. So that's a tough group to really go on the road with to London and try to win. And when we're giving up as many balls as we did last week. with those guys, Calvin Ridley, he's going to prove something to Atlanta. They're going to throw to him a lot for getting rid of him.
Unless he has a bet on us or something, then he won't.
Yeah.
But
Well, but I think they're going to throw to him a lot. He's going to prove. He's going to show that we miss him. You know what I mean? But we got to get hands on him. We got to get hands on Kirk. If they get any type of free space, they're gonna be gone.
Yeah, and don't forget Zay Jones too.
Yeah, he's the X factor.
Yeah, he is.
Trey,
Hey,
40. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead, Essen.
No, good. Do you think?
I was just gonna ask real quick if Arthur Smith got fired, who would you want to replace him on our coaching staff right now, just through the season, not
like
as
right now, or
yeah, yeah. If he got fired next week, who would you put in play to be the head coach, acting head coach?
I'll put a DC.
I wouldn't put the DC. Well, yeah, I wouldn't put him. He'd probably try to mix up the schemes on offense too. Somehow get that involved.
No, I think he'll give the OC an opportunity for them to both prove that they can maybe be a coach in the league.
Potentially. I still think we should have freaking kept damn, what's his name? He was our interim head coach not last year before, I think. When Quinn got fired. Rams D coordinator.
Oh,
Raheem something, I think.
Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still think we should have freaking kept him, personally.
No, I want Dan. I'd rather have Dan Quinn back.
Yeah, I would probably go Jerry Gray. If you guys know who he is the corner. He is the corners coach. He's been around for the league for a while. Arthur Smith brought him on to help out with the time management, and I think he'd be a really good veteran to bring in there. He's an older guy, but I think he would just change it and just let the players tell him what they need to do. And I feel like that's what Arthur Smith's not doing, is listening to the players and say, "Hey, we can do this, we can do that," because I guarantee you, Pitts, London, Bijan, Ritter is all coming over. This is what I'm seeing. This is what we need to do, and I guarantee you that he's not listening.
Smith don't give a shit. You can tell when he's on the sideline.
I think
His
he
entire demeanor is, I don't give two shits. I'm the smartest guy here.
I think he knows he's on his way out, though. I think he knows he's on his way out, though.
Possibly. It's just his demeanor, the way he looks at his players. Anytime a mistake happens, he's looking around like, why did that happen? That's not on me. That's on you guys. Like, it gives me very, very like fresh out of college, first time coaching kind of guy.
But
Like,
why
I
do you think
think
he's like that,
always
though?
right.
Why do you think he's like that?
He probably thinks he's like that because he came from a system with Derrick Henry, wherever you could literally hand the ball off to at any point in time, this man would go and get 10, 12 yards, no issue. He came over to a team to take full reign of it, a team that was not very, it was coming off of one of the biggest tragedies in Super Bowl history. And on its way down, he came in and was like, these guys need me more than I need them. I don't need this job. They need me more. And I hate that because that's not a good fit in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he wants to be there. If you ever like in his interviews, never seems like he wants to be there. He's always he's cryptic, and he doesn't need to be cryptic because we're not that kind of team. Everybody knows what we're gonna do. When reporters come out and ask him, well, what do you think you're doing this week on offense? We'll be fine. We're gonna be fine. We'll be fine. We're gonna do that. We're gonna play ball. We're gonna be okay. He's like a wannabe Bill Belichick without the success.
Mm-hmm.
The way he
That's
acts.
good. That's a good way of putting it.
Who do you want then? Who do you want?
If we could pick anyone we wanted in the season ended, I'd want Brian, you mentioned him on our regular podcast. Ben Johnson, is that his name?
Mhm.
I'd want him.
Yeah,
I'd want him.
He'd probably be my number one, but my number two is sitting out there at USC as an offense assistant, Cliff Kingsbury. So that's who I'd want because, and I'll say this: you keep Ryan Nielsen where he's at. You bring in Cliff Kingsbury.
You tell Nielsen to pick a damn scheme.
Well,
pick a scheme and go with it.
Well, tell him that's what Cliff should do. Tell him, say, hey, run this scheme, and then you bring in Cliff or you bring in Ben Johnson, and you turn the offensive round because we have weapons. We don't want to waste London. We don't want to waste Bijan, and we don't want to waste Pitts because Pitts will not resign with us if we don't use him. He will go somewhere else and get that bag.
Oh yeah, because he'll go to a team where they throw him the football.
But he don't. He ain't
They
gonna
get
get
him
a bag
open.
though. He's not gonna get a bag. He won't get a tight end bag. He won't. There's no way. He hasn't proved himself yet.
Right.
He's not given the chance to prove
I know,
himself.
but he's not gonna get it. He won't go to the Bengals and get $50 million a year. He won't get it. He won't.
I bet you he'll go to Dallas. I bet you right now, if let's say at the end of his contract, and if Jerry Jones is still around by then, and he calls and says, "Hey, come play for Dallas, I'll pay you," he's gone immediately.
Mhm.
He's no doubt.
He will get. He's gonna get paid because his rookie contract his rookie contract's small.
But right, but I think he'll get something like 3 years, 42 million. That's what I think he'll get, like 42, 45 million. That's what I think he'll get. But he'll go, so he'll leave. I don't do I think he'll stay with Atlanta? No. I think we have a better chance to keep London than we have Pitts.
Mhm.
I think London will stay around, but Pitts will leave immediately after his con. He will not resign.
I think it depends on what they do. If there's like a complete rejuvenation with the offense and whoever the hell comes in is like, listen, Pitts, Bijan, London, you guys better put your pants on, get ready to go every single week because the ball is coming to you. You
Mhm.
guys are our playmakers. You're the ones that are gonna have to make plays.
Don't
And
forget
throw
TA,
in
man. Don't forget TA.
throw TA in there. That's the thing. TA is the kind of guy. If you notice on the first game, he did so well. First game of the season, first few games of the season, well, two, because no one was expecting him to do anything. He
Mhm.
was Bijan was his replacement. He was an afterthought. Yeah, he was good his rookie season, but they have Bijan now. They're not going to need him. They have Patterson now. They have London. They have Pitts. He came out there and he kicked everyone in the teeth because no one was expecting it.
Mhm.
Keep him in that kind of a role. And
Yeah.
if of course if he ends up wanting to leave, you grant him that respect. You let him leave because he played well.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could go to another team and start. He probably
100%.
could. He probably could. But keep him in that role, that X factor explosive role, because people when he comes to the game, people can be like, well, it's just TA. Next thing you know, he bursts in 12, 13-yard runs, running four people over. Because
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of player he could be.
TA gives me Joe Mixon vibes. A consistent running back that's going to be around for a while. He'll make those explosive plays if need be. Mixon's never had like a Bijan in front of him or behind him trying to take his spot. He's had P. Ryan from Oklahoma behind him for like 5, 6 years. But he's that type of player for me. And I think if they keep using them properly, I think they'll be in good shape.
I'm gonna put one more coach in there before I'm gonna ask you guys a draft pick question. I'm gonna say Brian Flores. I think he would be a good fit for us too. But if we get the top 10 to 15 picks, which I think we're going to be 10 to 15 again this year in that area, or 8 and higher. Who do you best available, defense or offense?
Defense. I'm going defense. We have got to get another playmaker on defense. We have to. Absolutely have to.
I won't say best. I'm gonna say best available according who is there. According who is there. I don't think we have to draft a quarterback. Only way we draft a quarterback is someone like the guy from Washington. Washington's there. How you say his name, Brian?
Michael Penix Jr.
If he's there, or Drake May, something like that. If he's there, but I would take a best available. If it's a receiver, great. If Marvin Harrison Jr. keeps getting hurt, his stock's dropping. So I would pick him up, and that would be a really good dynamic receiving core with him in London. But best
The
available,
receiving core don't matter. We can't get him the damn ball.
I know. That's why I don't. I don't think. Okay, go ahead, Brian.
No, go ahead, Dustin. Go ahead, finish up.
But like, if we get Marvin Harrison, I don't think Ritter's our answer. I don't think Ritter's our quarterback. When we were the most successful as a quarterback, as an offense, we had a quarterback who was a pocket quarterback like Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was a great quarterback for us, and I mean great. And I don't think Ritter is not that guy. Terry Bradshaw also said something. I'll remember his name when he earned my respect. I don't even want to say Ritter's name. He has not earned my respect at all. He's not proved anything to me. He's not a rookie to me. This is his second year. He still hasn't proved to me that he's making the right decision. He's overthrowing. He's underthrowing. He's not getting the ball out quick enough.
I
Go ahead.
I don't know if we should give up on him until he has a full game season worth of games. Because I mean, you have to think about it. He played 4 games last year. In 4 of those 4 games did not matter because we were out of the playoffs. The teams we were playing were either out as well or they were locked. It did not matter
But it
whatsoever.
should have mattered to him to prove himself, to show what he can do, and he didn't.
Right, but at the end of the day, he's a 21-year-old kid. He's one,
Yes.
he's 2 years younger than, or no, he's not 20. He's 24. He's a year older than me. And
If
I thought about that, and I was like, I'm able to sit over here and criticize him, tell him he's not playing well, he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm like, man, he's 1 year older than me. What would I what would I be if I was in that situation? You know what I mean? So I think he should have at least one full season under him as far as games wise. And if he's not doing good, then pull it out from under him.
I'm going to give him 2 more games. I'm going to give him 2 more games, and if we win lose, keep him in. Lose. Heineke needs to be in to give him an opportunity to see if he can be the answer. I'm not saying Heineke's going to be way better than Ritter, but Heineke did great things at Washington. Did great things at Washington with a terrible offensive line. He had Scary Terry and he had Gibson. It's all he really had.
Yeah.
Brian?
Oh, let me tell you, I got it. Ready? So, first round, okay? Best available. Offensive lineman, receiver, or defensive player. Do not care. Second round, where it gets interesting. You trade for the following 2 players, and they're both quarterbacks. Justin Fields, because if the Bears are the worst team in the country, they're drafting Caleb Williams. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The second option, I think Trey's gonna give me a look. Dustin's gonna maybe like, Kirk freaking Cousins.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Okay. Here's my thing.
I would have rather you said Jimmy G, honestly.
Or Dak
Okay.
Prescott.
The reason I said
I would take Dak. I would.
I would take Kirk Cousins over Dak.
I would take Dak because Dak's damn near the face of the stupid NFL right now.
Hey, let me finish my take, okay? And then you do that. You bring in Kurt or you bring in Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields would ball in Atlanta. I think it'd be a great opportunity for him. According who we bring in as head coach, if it's an offensive mind. But I think Kirk Cousins could lead us to the playoffs. I really do, because he is a pocket passer. He's patient. He will get his tight end involved, Pitts. He will get his number 1 receiver, Justin Jefferson, Drake London, involved.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the run game is going to be the run game. So
that's not a bad, very hot take, Trey. It's not bad. That's not bad.
So, because
he's thinking about it right now. He's thinking about it. He's like, that's not that bad.
His time in Minnesota is coming up, and it sucks. He is overpaid by a good amount. But if we can convert his money into guaranteed money where it don't hit the cap, I think it'd be a great opportunity for us.
Would it be after this season or should it be next season?
After the season.
After season.
Mm-hmm.
Trey, what do you think? I can see his wheels turning right now. I can see his wheels turning. He wants to say something.
It's Kirk fucking Cousins, dude.
Yeah.
Justin
Fields will look dirty in Atlanta's uniform, though. He'll look clean.
Justin Fields looks clean in a Bears uniform, but he's not playing worth a shit now.
But he's not getting, dude. They're not using it. It's a wrong scheme for him.
His offensive line's terrible.
They're horrible.
This just shows you that great offensive lines help you win. Same with Dallas. Same besides this week. We'll get to them later this week.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, next podcast. But the Lions, great offensive line. Eagles, great offensive line. Winners have great offensive lines, and that's our problem. That's our problem, and that's Justin Fields' problem. There's no offensive line.
I don't think coming to Atlanta would help him because our offensive line is not very good either.
Yeah.
But if we draft a good lineman,
it's going to take more than one good lineman, though.
No, the right side's not doing terrible. The right side's not doing bad.
Our right side's fine, and our center is fine.
They're not very good pass block at all.
No one is right now.
I know.
No, but I would keep from the center over to the right tackle, and then I would ship Matthews off for picks, and then our left guard don't even know who it is.
We're not going to get. What are we going to get a 7th round pick for?
I'll take a fifth or sixth. Come on.
Our rights are. Do we have Dahlman at center, or did we move on?
Yeah, Dahlman. We have Dahlman.
Yeah, we got Dahlman, McGarry, and Lindstrom. Lindstrom was an All-Pro. I think he was All-Pro last year. And if
Yeah, he
not, he
was.
should have. But he was. I know he is. I know PFF football is, they're special, but he was consistently a top lineman in their rankings. Consistently. Jake Matthews, he's been around forever. Really good locker room guy. I'm sure he's got to go, or he's got to step back or something, because he doesn't have the speed anymore to keep up with the defensive lineman that he's going up against.
Yeah.
I think the spin move from Hutchinson was on him.
It was
You
on
know,
Matthews.
was it
It
on
was on
Matthews?
Matthews. He has left
Yeah.
side.
No, don't get me wrong. I'd say 4 or 5 years ago, Matthews would have no issue with that at all. No, he might get by him a little bit, but he wouldn't get faked out that bad.
So
Now he's too slow. He can't.
for our lineman though, Hennessy's out.
Yeah.
That's our other
So
starter. He's out. He's on IR. So I mean, he muted.
That's our center. Tennessee's usually our center.
Oh, center. He's reporting him to left guard right now. He's reporting him to left guard.
Matthew Bergeron. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a rookie from Illinois, right?
Syracuse.
But a lot of these, but a lot of our backups are from like small schools, Bowling Green, Appalachian State. They're not playing against big boys they're used to be playing. So that's something we definitely got to look into. If we do draft offensive lineman in the first round this year, if we do, go to a big college, man. They played those guys in the NFL. They know how to play against those guys.
You
They
know
get
what's
somebody
crazy?
from-
You know what's crazy?
What's that?
Jake Matthews is only 31,
He's still young, man. He's still young.
and he's playing like he's 42.
Yeah. He's I would rather have Andrew Whitworth than him.
Andrew
Okay.
Whitworth is actually like
So-
42.
Yeah.
So listen to this real quick, and then we'll wrap this up here. Going into right this very moment, without cuts or releases or anything of that, currently going into next season's off season, we have the 14th most money at
How much?
37 million.
Wow. There's no
Jake-
projected free agents that are really good either coming up, are they, for linemen?
Let's see. I can take a gander here real quick. So, Kirk Cousins will be a free agent, just so we're aware. We didn't have trades for him. Just gonna put that out there. Let's see. Offensive lineman, you said, Dustin? So let's
Yeah.
see. Offensive line.
I got it right here too, Brent. I'm looking up right now.
Um,
Fun fact:
Tyron Smith, Dewani
Connor
Brown.
Williams,
Those are pretty high. They're pretty high.
Johnny Williams,
Have we touched on defense much? I know we've talked about it a little bit.
a little bit.
Right now, as of total yardage per game, take a guess at where our defense is.
25th and 25th, 26th.
We're top 10. We're 8th. We're allowing an average of 287.7 yards per game.
So it's mainly the offensive struggle then.
Yes. Our defense has been playing not bad.
Pretty good.
Passing yardage, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. 7th. We've allowed 510 passing yards. On average, we're 5th. We've allowed, on average, 170 passing yards a game.
Wow.
Our defense is playing very good.
Yeah.
They're playing good. They're getting beat on some deep balls.
They're out there a
But
lot.
I don't think we'd have to worry about that if our offense could score. We put up 6 points last week. 6. And
Yeah.
they were long field goals.
Very.
That's bad.
Mhm.
Well,
We got an interception on our side of the field. Or
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I
right.
think. Yeah.
It was like a 42 or something like that.
We've got to turn that into points.
Yeah.
You have to. The only thing I can really see that we're struggling really bad on is rushing, and that's I want to guess and say around 15th, 16th. So I mean middle of the road. We're
Mhm.
giving up on average 117, it looks like 117.7.
That's not terrible.
No.
and just and that's terrible. And then Jeff Okuda needs to play. Like he needs to stay healthy,
he played this week.
well, he needs to make an impact.
He
It
just
needs to
didn't
be
play
him on one side, Terrell on the other, because we're paying him $8.3 million to suck. So
I mean, he wasn't very good when he played for Detroit. So
He was always injured. Why would you give somebody $8 million for?
I know we're only in week 3, but I'm looking at the Atlanta Falcons projecting free agents, it's the whole roster.
We
So
got a bunch of 1 years. We have a
Yeah.
completely different defense.
I know.
Completely new.
Just to name a few: Okuda, Calais Campbell, Cordell Patterson, Bud Dupree, Matt Collins, Keith Smith, Trey Flowers, Scotty Miller, Trey Davis, Pruitt, Hennessy, Logan Woodside, Jalen Hawkins.
We're not gonna have that much money in the free agency if we got that many people leaving.
Well, if they all leave, that's going to give us our money back. So Jeff Okuda, 8.3 million, that will come back to us. That'll be like 45 million, and then Calais will not resign. He'll retire. He's 37. He'll retire.
He needs to.
Cordell Patterson's making 5.2. He ain't worth 5.2. We need to put him down on a lower contract. But I would bring back Bud Dupree, Keith Smith,
Matt
Mikael Pruitt.
Collins, I would bring him back too.
Yeah, I mean, there's Tyler Boyd's gonna be a free agent in the offseason.
T. Higgins. Trade for him. That could be another discussion next week. But T. Higgins, I think we should go after him. He's a true number one. Have Drake as 2. Have Pitts. And keep Smith. I think we signed him for 3 years, right? Or something like that, 2 or 3 years. Have him, Bijan, and Algier. And with a better quarterback, I think we'll be fantastic. I don't think Ritter will be our star next year. But that's a different discussion for a different week. But we appreciate you guys tuning in. We're excited to talk about this. It was kind of a burner talking about the Falcons this week. We all 3 watched the game. You should read our text thread because it was pretty aggressive. I mean, they just didn't play well. They have the Jacksonville Jaguars this week in London. That will be an interesting game to watch. I won't get to watch it, so I'll get to hear from them too how it went. I'll get to recap, but I'm choosing them to lose because I don't think they're going to beat Jacksonville. I think they're going to score like 40 points on us. But if our defense can continue what they're doing, I think it'll be fine. Trey, Brian, what's your win-loss? What do you think? Really quick.
I think it's going to be a loss myself. I think Jacksonville is going to come in very motivated because they lost to the freaking Texans, and I think they're going to come very motivated. And I think they're going to score a lot of points. I don't think they're going to score 40, but I think it's going to be in the 30s, maybe high 20s, and we're going to score maybe 3 to 10 points.
Trey, you picking the Falcons, buddy?
I am, and I'm picking Atlanta because if you remember, Pitts scored for his first touchdown in London. Okay. So he's able to find the end zone when he's not in the States. So I'm really, really pulling for him to kind of come alive in this game. Okay. I think he could. Also, just for reference, I was looking at this just now. So our defense is giving it, I think we're around 8th in points per game. Mm-hmm. Our offense, we're in the 20s.
Yeah. We're 27th. I think it's 27th.
It's not 27th. I think it's like 23rd in points per game.
We're
behind the Steelers. That's all you got to know. But and the Broncos.
So you have me and Brian saying they're going to lose. Trey's going to say they're going to win. I think will be a good game to watch. I'll catch the recap. But I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.